Hi fellow crafters, I'm back today to show you an easy technique that will make you look like a paper crafting pro. All you need is your Cheerful Daisies stamp set and some leftover scraps of coordinating paper. Shall we get started? If this is the first time you're visiting my channel, hi, I'm Terri from nutsaboutsstamping.com. I love sharing techniques and projects for rubber stamping, paper crafting, and scrapbooking with you each week. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you'll be notified when my next video goes live. Speaking of videos, be sure to watch this video all the way through for my bonus tips and design ideas. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I would love for you to choose me. I'll link to my online stores in the description box under this video. Now, let's get going on this super easy technique. I'm going to start off my card by creating a Cheerful Daisy element that will become a layer on the front of my card. You will love everything you can do with this set. You use the solid images, which are perfect for quick stamping in one color, which is what we're going to do today. Or you can use the line art images, like those there, for watercoloring or using your stamping blends. Whatever your favorite coloring technique is, you can use it on the line art images. I'm going to take this piece of basic white and I'm going to use a couple of the images from the Cheerful Daisies stamp set to stamp onto this layer. But first I am going to put a scrap piece of grid paper underneath, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to use my Wild Wheat ink pad and this particular daisy image, and I am going to stamp this image in a sort of, I guess, rotating way, and I'm going to move it up this layer like so. And then, okay, so I'm done with that. Then I'm going to use my Pebbled Path ink, and I've got the little center of the daisy, and I'm going to ink it and stamp it down onto this layer to complete my daisy, like so. Now, the next thing I'm going to use is one of my tailor-made tags dies. So here's the pack of dies, and I'm going to use this die and die cut out the image that I have just created on this basic white layer. So I'll hop over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and I'll die cut this out, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, there we go. There's the layer for the front of my card. Now the next thing I want to do is work on creating the torn paper card base. And so my card base is going to be Wild Wheat, and something that's a little different for me, I'm going to make this as a square card, just because it's something different and it's something fun to do. Now what I have done is I have created two or three, I guess I've got three solid pieces or strips, leftover strips of Wild Wheat. And then I have these two strips of the Designer Series paper. And I'm going to use these to help me create the torn paper effect for the front of my card. So I'm going to start with this layer, and what I'm going to do is I am just going to randomly tear it like so, and then I am going to add it to the bottom of my card using multi-purpose liquid glue. Okay, I've got that layer on there, and what I forgot to mention is you want the torn edge to be facing down on the front of your card. So make sure that each layer that you add has that torn bit at the bottom. So then the next thing I'm going to do is take one of the solid pieces, and I am going to do the same thing. I'm just going to randomly tear a strip, and then I'm going to add this onto my card front, slightly overlapping the Designer Series paper, which is underneath. Now I'm going to do it again. This time I've got another strip and I'm going to tear off the bottom of it and then add it again to my card front. So you can see that we're building these layers going up vertically. Now I'm going to take one of the pieces of the Designer Series paper and doing the same thing. I'm just going to tear off the bottom and then I'm going to adhere it as a layer like so. I have another piece of the solid wild wheat and I'm going to tear it again and then add it to the front of my card. Now I have this little piece that I tore off of this layer, and because I don't like to waste paper, I am going to add it to the top of my card. And there we go, the card base is coming along really nicely. I love this technique, and I especially love that some of the card base is showing through. I think it just adds so much visual interest. Now, let's create a phrase that we're going to use for the front of the card. I have this tiny strip of leftover basic white paper, and I've got the You Made My Day image from the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. And I think what I'll do is, I just really like the wild wheat color. I debated whether or not to use Pebbled Path, but I think I will stick with my color theme, and I'm going to stamp it down onto this layer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut out each word separately. All right, there we go. I've got the words all cut out and ready to add to the front of my card. The first thing I'm going to do is take the tag and I'm going to adhere it to the front of my card like so. The next thing I want to do is take the words that I've cut out and I want to attach them to the front of the card. And I think what I'll do, so that they don't completely disappear, is I'll use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. All right, it is coming along great. I am loving the look of this card. Would you like to see another Cheerful Daisies card idea? If so, why not watch this video next? And now it's time for us to talk embellishments. I have the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, and it's got these 4, I guess, spools of Baker's Twine. And I have gone ahead and created a little basic white bow, and I'm going to adhere the bow to the hole in the tag using a mini glue dot. I think the next thing I'm going to do is add some of the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. There's these dots here that I think look really close to the Pebbled Path ink color, so I'm going to add a few of those next. And there we go. My Cheerful Daisies Torn Paper Technique card is done and ready to mail to somebody special. If you would like a complete listing of the supplies that I use, the measurements for the layers, and the ordering numbers for the products that I used, I will link to my blog article in the description box under this video. You can click on that link, head over to my blog, and get all the information you need. I'm Terry. I am nuts about stamping. I hope to see you at the next video. Bye for now.